is for the thief, one day for the owner of the house. But ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, has reversed the role. It is now every day for the owner of the house. If you're involved in bribery, over-invoicing, or any shady deal, the day of reckoning has come. ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, is watching you. If you're reported for any corrupt practice, you'll be investigated, prosecuted, and punished. Corruption is harmful to our nation. Join the campaign against it by reporting any corrupt practice to ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Let we join hands with ICPC, make them better.
Let's make Nigeria great again.
ICPC, they want to.
Hand for corruption.
Break the chain of corruption now. Don't give, don't take. This message is brought to you by ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
In today's edition of Corruption Must Go, we are focusing on culture, appreciation, and corruption. We will be looking at how the culture of showing appreciation encourages corruption or leads to corruption. We all know that Nigerians love giving gifts, either in cash or kind, to show appreciation for a service rendered or in anticipation of future services that would be rendered. It is therefore not surprising to come across persons who would rather give cash or material to obtain, facilitate, or influence services or award of contracts or projects in government establishments. Oftentimes, when caught in the act, such persons' defense is that they were only engaged in the act of giving a gift or showing appreciation, which is part of our culture as Nigerians. This is where we shall be turning our searchlight on this week's edition of the program. Welcome to Corruption Must Go, ICPC's weekly television program. I am Hawa Sani Garba. Also on today's edition, we bring you the latest stories on anti-corruption, ethics and values and more. First, Ruth Awodi is here with the latest updates on happenings around the Commission. Ruth, over to you.
Welcome to this segment. I am Ruth Awodi. ICPC has proposed to the National Assembly for an expansion of its options of courts for the prosecution of corruption cases to include federal high courts. This was contained in a memorandum it presented to the House of Representatives Committee on Anti-Corruption during a public hearing organized on a bill to amend the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000. Speaking on behalf of the Commission, the acting chairman of ICPC, Honorable Abdullahi Bako, explained that the amendment had become necessary given the fact that the Commission is restricted by its extant law to prosecute cases only in state high courts, which has hampered its prosecutorial effectiveness in high-profile cases where the defendants often wield substantial influence within their home state.
And regarding the powers of the ICPC to prosecute corruption cases, we are restricted to prosecute our cases in state high courts only. We are getting difficulties where the hierarchy of the state is involved and the courts seem to be shy to do justice to our case in most cases. We are therefore urging the National Assembly to amend that section to put that at par with the ICPC so that we can, EFCC, so that we can either prosecute in federal high court or state high court as we deem appropriate.
Speaking earlier at the opening ceremony of the occasion, the committee chairman, Honorable Akinloye Babajide, had stated that the amendment of the Act was being done to enhance and strengthen the Commission's efficiency and effectiveness.
Just as the importance of the agency ICPC cannot be overemphasized in the fight against corruption in the country, the dynamism with which the enigma has taken its place is so disturbing that the need for its amendment is also very sacrosanct in order to ensure a better standing for the country in the Committee of Nations. This public hearing arose from the need to articulate the input of stakeholders and the general public to ensure that this amendment, which is aimed at improving and enhancing the performance of the Commission in the discharge of our duty when eventually passed into law, will meet the yearnings and aspirations of Nigeria.
The public hearing attracted stakeholders in the country who made presentations in support of the proposed amendments. At the ongoing trial of a former governor of Zamfara State and 7th Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ahmed Sani Yerima, over alleged diversion of state funds, ICPC has made its final presentation in a no-case submission by the Defense Counsel before Justice Bello Tukur Gumi of Zamfara State High Court 5, sitting in Gusau. The Commission's prosecuting counsel, led by Mrs. Christiana Onuogu, after calling 6 witnesses and tendering 25 exhibits, made their final submission, while counsel to the ex-governor, Mahmoud Magaji, SAN, tendered 8 exhibits. In her submission, Mrs. Onuogu argued that the prosecution had proved the essential elements of the offenses with which the former governor was being charged, and that the principle of a no-case submission made by him failed where the defendant had explanations to make in response to the charges against him. She also averred that the defendant's confessional statement that he had diverted part of the 1 billion naira UBA loan to other projects and services corroborated the charges preferred against him. Mrs. Onuogu therefore prayed the court to dismiss the no-case submission entered by the defense counsel. Having listened to the submissions made by both the defense and the prosecution, the trial judge adjourned the case to 5th December 2017 for ruling on the no-case submission. It should be recalled that Senator Yerima had earlier been arraigned in 2016 by ICPC before Justice Bello Shinkafi of High Court 4, Gusau, Zamfara State, on a 19-count charge bordering on alleged diversion of 385.5 million naira and other sums from the 1 billion naira loan meant for the repair of a collapsed dam and rehabilitation of flood victims while he was governor. The case was subsequently transferred to Justice Gumi with the agreement of both the defense and prosecuting counsel on account of several adjournments because of the judge's ill health. And finally on this segment, a former Kano State High Court judge, Honorable Justice Kabiru Maman Auta, has been arrested by ICPC on allegations bordering on criminal conspiracy, cheating and forgery. Auta was arrested by operatives of the Commission when he was invited for interrogations that he had conspired with some persons to defraud a Kano businessman, Alhaji Bashiru Sani Kwangila Yakase, of the sum of 220 million naira. The matter was referred to the Commission after it had been reported to the National Judicial Council, which had constituted a committee to investigate the allegations. The amount involved had been fraudulently obtained from Alhaji Yakase by Honorable Justice Auta and his accomplice Bashiru Sufi on the pretext that they were acting on behalf of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Aloma Mukhtar. Justice Auta, in his statement to the Commission, had disclosed that he had paid 20 million naira as part repayment to Alhaji Yakasai during the course of the matter. Honorable Justice Auta was released from detention on administrative bail while further investigation into the matter continues. That will be all on this segment.
What's your name?
Onosude Omorifi. May we check
your own list, cause the list where they outside, or not say Daniel name never do.
Your name is Honoriode. You even went as a fashion designer.
As you don't come back, so now I won't go as Akpobori Ovi, and Ovi won't go as pilots.
That is impersonation.
My own share for the national cake be that.
Mr. Onosode.
Akpobori.
The Amnesty Program is an intervention project for sustainable economic development of the Niger Delta, which you are a beneficiary of, lying under pretext for your selfish gain and advantage is robbing others of the same opportunity. And that is an act of corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
If you are just tuning in, this is Corruption Must Go. According to the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, culture simply stands for the beliefs and attitudes about something that people in particular group or organization share. Also means the customs and beliefs, acts or way of life and social organization of a particular country or group. Mrs. Ese Okwong of the Commission's Education Department will throw more light on this. Welcome to Corruption Must Go.
Thank you.
Now, what do you consider showing appreciation in our culture?
In the African culture, in Nigeria to be precise, it's appropriate to say thank you. We have it the way we say it in our different languages. In Yoruba we say Shekupo, in Yoruba we say Migo Woru Mamo. You know, in the Igbo culture you say Dalu, and then the Northerners will say Nagodi Sose. We say thank you, we appreciate. But going beyond that, we appreciate by giving out. You can give gift items to your loved ones. You can give out 2 bags of yam, bags of gari, wrapper to your old mother. Then you can also give during Christmas, during Salah. These are all ways Nigerians show appreciation to people.
Thank you. Under Section 9, Subsection 1 and 2 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000, the act of giving in order to influence public officials inappropriately for selfish or private gains is corrupt offers to public officers. A lawyer from our prosecution department is standing by to further educate us on the position of the ICPC law on this. Some Nigerians shared their views on this topic. Take a look at this.
We have an aspect of our culture that I consider very beautiful. That aspect encourages people to be appreciative, and it encourages communal living. So that means that if I do something to you that you appreciate, you can't just come back and say thank you. You need to come with something. That's usually termed cola or a little drink. And then if maybe I'm bereaved, I'm not just left alone to care for all the expenses involved. We see friends coming in to assist in one way or the other, and usually they come with money. And it cuts across every other aspect of our living. So people come together to help, to assist. That's a beautiful part of our culture. But it's been observed that very often this aspect of our culture is abused. People who have corrupt minds take advantage of this aspect of our culture to influence official decisions. We've heard examples of people who their wards fees or tuition fees are paid for abroad by people. Weddings are sponsored completely by others. And then you have payments of different kinds under the guise of coming to say thank you or showing appreciation in one way or the other. So it is this aspect of the abuse that the ICPC Act seeks to curb or prohibit. That's why Section 60 has a provision to deal with those kind of appreciations or thank you or givings in our everyday life. The provisions of Section 60 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act, it says in any proceedings under this act, that's under the ICPC Act, if you have prosecutions under the ICPC, evidence shall not be admissible to show that any such gratification mentioned in this act is customary in any profession, trade, vocation, or calling, or on a social occasion. So what this means is that evidence would not be admissible to show that the gift I received from someone was actually either a Christmas gift or a Salah gift, if I am caught and I'm being prosecuted for that offense. So if, as a person, maybe as a chief executive of an organization that is doing procurement, someone comes to say, please take this. Maybe it is a festive period, or maybe I am bereaved, or my son or daughter is getting married, and it comes with a large gift. That gift has the capacity of influencing my decision as to who will get the contract. Or if my child's fees or tuition fees is paid for abroad, this accommodation and everything is cared for. It has the capacity or the tendency of influencing who I eventually decide will get that contract. So that is what the Act seeks to prohibit.
Please tell us, can our culture of giving thank you gifts lead people to corruption?
Yes, it does. It has really affected our culture. Like when you look down on the family aspect of it, the educational aspect of it, even the administrative aspect of it also. Let's go down to the family. You find out that in the family, if somebody is nobody wants to encourage anybody. The only people they want to look at those people that bring back things to the house. They don't count other people that don't bring that as being useful in the family. They just look at them, after all, what are you going to offer? And based on that, you find out some truths in the family, some issues at the family, those ones are not being given. So the corruption is eating. There is this lack of love, lack of care, lack of association in the family aspect of it. Then when you come to the educational aspect of it, you find out that people have lost interest in reading, interest in having vision of what they want to be, interest of going further in life, because they feel that they can pass by giving gifts, maybe their body to the lecturer, maybe money to the lecturer, or maybe also buying of gift items, or maybe a kind of association they keep in the school.
To an extent, naturally saying thank you is not a bad thing. If somebody had done anything well to you and you say thank you, it's not a bad thing. But when you look at you want to look at our culture, when you say culture, our way of life, the way we have grown to become or to be, it has become so much part of us that if you enter an office and maybe by the grace of God you are favored in one way or the other, or a right thing is done to you, and you don't come back to say that thank you, it becomes a factor that tomorrow you might not even find that favor again. That is what has become of our culture. And to a very large extent, it affects our big people that works in public offices, because it's from some of these factors that they enriched themselves too.
Let me use myself as an example. Though I'm not in a public service, for example, if I'm in a public service or in a public position, and somebody walk into my office, whereas I have a boss who I work under, and the person bring a proposal, for example, and wanting to get a job from my office, and said he wants to see my boss. If I allow him to see my boss, and on his way out of the office, he gave me something. And I said, okay, thank you for giving me. I collected it. Any day, my boss is going to ask me to arrange probably the documents submitted by other persons, including that very person that walked into the office that gave me something. Definitely, it will strike my mind that this very person gave me something in the process of submitting his proposal or what have you. Then I will definitely make sure that his document comes first.
To some extent, it would, because gifts, no matter how you want to look at it, have a lot of influence attached to them. When somebody gives you gifts of 10 million naira, there's no way you can be you can ask of something from that public officer and he won't grant it.
Give him his shoes somewhere here, his phone and everything.
Bye bye.
Hey, Oga, where do you think you are going?
Home. You never shake body.
Eh?
You never shake body.
Shake body, see?
Never shake body.
I don't get combo for my body.
You go take for here.
Sit down there.
What's this man still doing here?
They say I do shake body. I shake body, I shake body. They say I do this. And I say I don't get combo.
You are asking for money.
Sorry, ma'am.
Asking for money to bail a suspect is an act of corruption. Both of you will be punished. Corruption is not allowed within the force. Remember,
police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
Corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
We must learn to draw the line between our cultural beliefs and giving gifts to influence official decisions. We must stand for what is right at all times in order to foster the fight against corruption. That's our package on this week's edition. Remember, you can make enquiries and suggestions via our toll-free numbers as shown on the screen. You can also watch the program on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/ICPC Nigeria. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Hawa Sani Garba. See you next week. Bye for now.